In a time of shift, I want to take away the thought that you need a new tactic or strategy. And I just want to tell you to open your heart more. Here's what I believe in times like this. Be even more transparent. We must always enter conversations that are going on in the mind of our prospect. I'm going to add something to it. This very moment. Right? That's the slogan for today. We must enter conversations already going on in the mind of our prospect today, at this moment. Because over the next 3 to 6 months, I believe the internal conversation, like the one in my head all last night, is changing. Yes, we went through COVID. That was a shift and definite uncertainty. Yes, it's so sad that there's a war going on in the world right now, and I send prayers every single day. I wish I could do more. There's a lot of craziness going on in the world. But I think we're going to add winter on top of it. And when that happens, conversations definitely change. Let me ask you, raise your hand if someone in your life mentioned gas or grocery prices in the last week. Raise your hand if someone's talked about gas or grocery prices in the last week. Raise your hand if anyone has talked about it looks like the economy's shifting, or worried about the stock market or your 401k. Raise your hand if you've had anybody talk about that in the last week. That's about 80%, 85%. The first one was 100%. So, if conversations are changing, should we be altering our conversation and our influence tactics? It all starts with the awareness, because here's what I know, and I'll watch this because I've been through it now. I will watch companies that think that whatever they do works, and especially a lot of online marketing companies that have been in business for 10 years or less. Mark my word, you're going to watch a lot of them will disappear because they won't realize that if they don't change their marketing, if they don't live in the mind of their prospect, they will start. It's like being on a treadmill and you're running on 4 and you're hoping to get someplace, but you're not getting anywhere. You're just running in circles, and they're just turning the treadmill up to 8 and wondering why they're still not getting anywhere. A lot of these companies will work harder and faster, but they won't change their messaging. And if you are aware of it, and it goes back to love what we do so much that we feel bad if we don't get people to say yes. Remember to love what you do so much that you'd feel bad if people don't use it. Because I feel that about everything. I feel that about all of our events. I feel that about Project Next. I feel that about our High Ticket Academy and our Mastermind Academy and everything we do. I want to love it so much that if you need it, man, it's exactly where you need to be, right? So remember, keep that part and adjust what you do if you need to help people in this shifting time as it's coming. So what happens when the world shifts? In a time of shift, I want to take away the thought that you need a new tactic or strategy. And I just want to tell you to open your heart more. Here's what I believe in times like this. Be even more transparent. I hope you know that I might not hit it out of the park for everybody, but I'm doing my best to read your comments, see what you're going through, know what you're feeling, and then see the outside world. And what I bring today is just real life stuff that's allowing me to thrive in my businesses even when things shift. And I want you to model that and rob it. If I was too technical, if I didn't open my heart, if I was too methodical in everything that I shared with you, even though the information could have been perfect, would it actually stick in your life? You already know your client because in most cases, it was you of a year ago, or you of 3 years ago, or you of 5 years ago. Is that true? Dig back in and remember those fears. Remember what you needed to hear. Remember what you wanted to hear. Remember what you needed. And talk and help that person more than you ever have before, because people are going to need you now more than ever. People buy from you when they feel understood, not when they understand you. Right? So think about if you've ever gone to an event, right? And I share this, but I'm being a reminder service right now for some of you. You go to an event and watch a speaker, somebody who could be really successful, and you get done, you're like, wow, that was pretty cool. Really successful, they've done a lot in their life. Good job. And then there's another speaker you watch and you're like, oh my God, she's like reading my journal at night. And you're like taking notes and you're like, oh my God, I gotta do that. I have to do that. And then you go a minute later, you're like, yes, that's me. You know, like Tony does that to you. I hope I do it to other. The difference between the two, one made you understand them and they were cool. It was good. The other person made you feel understood. So really work on, in this shifting world, make people feel understood. Think about art. If you're entering conversations going on in someone's head, it could just be, this is the perfect time to do art, right? Learn to do this specific kind of art. But what about if it was like, in a shifting world, when the economy and news is horrific, wouldn't you love something that filled your heart, that got you lost in space, that allowed you to meditate while you create? I've seen, for me personally, art, which is true, I'm saying about me, art is the perfect meditation for me. And if you'd like to learn, blah, blah, blah. You see how you shift a message in that, right? Tourism, right? If you're teaching people on tourism, maybe you're teaching people how to travel on a budget and still get not the what they get, but the experience. So if I was doing tourism, I would be promoting all about the experience. I mean, let me just ask you guys, what are the most important things in your life? Are that the things or the experiences? Things or experiences? Would you give up the things for amazing experiences? Yeah, look at, I don't have to, hands down, right? Everybody. There's not anybody that's saying things, everything, right? So if I was promoting tourism in today's world, I would have a similar type of message. In a shifting, uncertain world, isn't it time we stop thinking about things and start thinking about experiences? That's what I'm talking about today. It's the same thing. You're still teaching art or tourism or all the other things that I can't read right now, right? But we're just gonna subtly shift them, because you might have been thinking, if you're in art or tourism, you're like, oh yeah, Dean shifted, but it was about making money. Did I just shift something that has nothing to do with money, two of them, art and tourism? Because your conversation's already going on in their minds. People are thinking, I don't know, should I travel? Things are changing. No, I need an experience with my family because it's been stressful. Should I really take art now? I'm so busy. Yeah, I have to, because I can't even find 2 minutes for myself. But if I dedicate 3 hours a week to art, I'll do nothing else. I'll shut off my phone. I'll put on the canvas. I'll get the paints. I'll get my hands dirty, and I'll just lose myself in this canvas. And then think about, if you're entering conversations that are going on, how to carry that through line all the way through, right? So as you have a headline like that, how can you use, that's the first part, enter a conversation already going on in the mind of your prospect. The second part is be more transparent.